Oh yeah, it is time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I sure am, now that I am off work, because work kind of sucked today. But anyways, this will probably be the last unboxing of parts for the STI project build. Now, if you guys are watching this the same day I'm releasing it, I will probably be at Bader's house, taking the engine out of the car as we speak. Totally excited for that. It can't be the weekend fast enough because I just want to get this project started. But I have a few more parts that are going to be going onto the car that, yeah, I think you guys will probably like. So, and big news about the turbo, we'll go into that later on. Okay, this is much better. Let's give you guys a POV unboxing. So this one right here, you guys saw in my last video, I got some gauges, and this right here are gonna house those gauges that I bought. I've been wanting this for a while, like I just said, and I finally pulled the trigger. This was like 120 bucks. I also got this on Import Image Racing. I probably could have got it cheaper somewhere else, but it is what it is. You guys are seeing this the same time I am, as I usually do on camera. So if anything happens, any funky business, you guys are gonna see at the same time I am. So let's get rid of that. This is the dual gauge pod cluster thingy, I think. Well, yeah, what'd you call it? So I'm gonna put my oil pressure gauge here, my oil temp gauge there, and yeah, that would help me mount those gauges that I bought. So there you go, and let's get to the next box. So when it comes to the new engine, Bader recommended this specific oil when it comes to the new engine. So this is the Valvoline VR1 racing oil. He really loves this oil when it comes to the built engine. Let me just take one out the box. I'm pretty sure you guys seen this. I mean, it's freaking oil, right? But yes, Valvoline VR1 1030, that will be going into the new engine in case you guys are wondering. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, next up, this one is coming from IAG. So let's see what we got here. Oh, cool. Let's see here. We got, okay, cool. This is the IAG specific heat shield blanket for the turbo. I don't know what his name, I think it was James. He was a sales rep that I was talking to at IAG, and he recommended getting one of those. And let's see what here. We got some phenolic spacers right here. This will help install this. Hopefully it will create more room for this big turbo inlet. This is the FP turbo inlet that are, I don't know if they're specific to FP turbos, but yeah, this was like about, I don't know, 200 bucks or so. So brand new turbo inlet is here. Let's see what else we got in here. I don't remember. Block off. Oh, this is the block off. So if you have an internal wastegate turbo and you want to close off the wastegate, this is one thing that you are going to need in order to prevent the wastegate from opening. So we got that. I'll explain why I got that in a minute. Big thanks to James at IAG for getting this out to me super duper quick. He responded to my email about parts that I was looking for, got back to me. Next thing you know, I'm calling them up and I'm placing an order. Oh, okay. So these are just parts for the actual turbo inlet itself. We've got some hose clamps and some hoses and whatnot. Nothing too exciting, just turbo inlet parts. Okay, next up, this one is coming from iWire. Now, when it comes to iWire, they helped me out greatly. I want to say big thanks to Whitney for giving me a call on this product specifically. I was worried about this product not getting to me on time, so she went and helped me get some expedited shipping in order to get here on time for the motor build. So what you see here, this is the AEM wideband for the STI. Now this is a plug and play unit, super duper easy to install. Now if you guys are e-tuning or you're interested in monitoring your wideband through your access port, this is something that you're gonna want to get. So if you want to data log your wideband, I highly recommend getting this so that your tuner can actually see your wideband, because the OEM wideband really isn't all that accurate at wide open throttle. So let's just open it up and see what comes in the box. If you want to see the specifics on this, you guys will see just how easy this is to install. It's very clean, and yeah, so this plugs into your existing factory O2 connection, and you just plug this into your extra bung if you have a downpipe with an extra bung, and you just plug this right in. They also include a weld-in bung in case you have a downpipe that doesn't have it. So find someone that knows how to weld that in, put your wideband in, and you're pretty much good to go. There's also an extra wire. Oh, this actually, yeah, this is a plug cap, And this is the actual wiring itself. Some zip ties, and yeah, good to go. Okay, so here we are. I have to switch camera angles on you only because this box is super big. So you guys saw me unbox a product similar to this one. Well, that product, the FP Green Turbo in particular that I'm talking about, is officially sold. So as we speak, finding this turbo in stock is almost damn near impossible. So you could order this, but you're gonna be looking at about an 8 to 12 week lead time. So luckily the guys at IAG had one in stock, and yes, I found it and I said screw it, I'm gonna put the FP Green up for sale, and it's sold within I think about 8 hours or so. Big thanks to Josh at Peterbilt, and he helped me get that sold to one of his customers. And next thing you know, I ordered this turbo. Took a small hit on the FP Green, but I just wanted to get that gone in order to help fund this turbo. So if you know the history on this turbo, I did order this turbo before. I canceled that order and then ordered the FP Green, going back and forth on if I really wanted this turbo to begin with. This is my second time ordering this turbo, and here we are. So I'm not gonna hold you guys up too long. Of course, in this bag, I already know it's gonna be in here. This is gonna be the oil line and the gasket, of course. And without further ado, this is the turbo. Yes, right here. So what you see here, this is the FP Black. So this actual turbo is probably good for about 600 wheel horsepower. Now, when it comes to my particular application, it's not gonna make that much, to be honest with you. I am limited by fuel. We will go over that in just a minute. So there you go, FP Black, 84 millimeter inlet. Unfortunately, this is the internal wastegate version, which is the reason why I got the external wastegate or internal wastegate bracket. So we're just gonna block that off. Now, when it comes to power estimates in my particular application with this turbo, we're looking at about 400 to about 450 wheel horsepower. Now, the only reason why my fuel system is gonna be lacking, in other words, to properly power this turbo to its full capabilities. Now, I was trying to get the dual radium setup. Unfortunately, they are out of stock. The Walbro fuel pumps are also out of stock. They are back ordered. I don't know when they're gonna be coming back. Also, my injectors, the 1300cc injectors that you saw in the last video, we're gonna max those things out really quick. So I need bigger injectors and a dual fuel system in order to maximize the power potential of this turbo. So once I do that, I think power estimate should be around the 500s or high 400s, low 500s, but we will see. So the motor is going to be built for it, so I'm not really worried about the motor. So before we go, what I want to do is get rid of this internal wastegate and put this block off plate on, because we're not going to need this internal wastegate at all. So I think it's just a 13 millimeter and a cotter pin. Let's just get this out of the way, because this is junk. Don't need no internal wastegate. We got that loosened up. Take that out. We're gonna need to use this later on. This, we're probably gonna punt this in the trash. Now, if you do get the external wastegate version, what they do is usually they will just weld this on to keep it from opening. So, but I think the block off plate will be good enough. Remember to always start by hand, and we're just gonna keep this loose for now until we can get the actual brackets in place. So this actual plate will actually keep this from opening. Okay, so now we can tighten these pins up. There you go. We just converted the internal wastegate version of the FP Black to the external wastegate version. There you go. I think this bracket was fairly cheap. It's like 30 bucks or so. So this is the IAG version. I thought I ordered the Grimspeed one, but this is the IAG one and it fits just fine. Okay, so now that we have these two turbos together, let's take a look at the FP Black on the right and the FP Green on the left. Now, one option I wish I got on the Black was to get this coated and ported. As you can see on the FP Green, this is a lot smoother than it is on the Black. Not only that, it looks like they grinded out a lot of the material. This port is a lot bigger than this port. So I don't know if you can see the difference. Let me see that. So definitely a huge difference with the porting option. So definitely worth the $95 they charge for that option, in my honest opinion. So one of the biggest visual difference you will see on the FP Green and the FP Black are the inlet sizes. This is a 60mm inlet and this is the 84. Although I don't know if memory serves me correctly, I think you can get the 84mm option on the FP Green.
I thought you were talking all the crap that this wasn't gonna happen.
No, I sure was.
Look at this guy. Look at where we are.
Dude, we're stuck out here, man.
We're in the middle of nowhere. No phone service, nothing, no cameras, no drone. He forgot.